What you're seeing with Victor Wembanyama is different from anything you've ever seen in the NBA.
Clowney trying to go right back at KJ. Wembanyama right there. And then again, came over late. Martin misses the three. Champagny secures it. 2 for 1 if the Spurs want it. Wembanyama wants it. From the logo.
He's not just talented, he's become incredibly difficult to stop. Someone who can defend
with that magnificent touch and get it off the glass. Lively denied.
Drive
emphatically by Wembanyama. It's like playing against your dad in the driveway when you're 8 years old.
Shoot from deep.
Wemby 3, you bet!
Or create plays from any spot on the court. Take a look at this.
Giannis inside, and there's Wembanyama blocking the MVP. 79 straight games with a block. Castle.
Find the right angle off the glass.
Giannis, and another block! Back to back on the Buck star. Vassell for 2.
That moment when he blocks the shot, grabs the ball, and instantly finds a teammate on the fast break shows exactly how he can change the game by himself. With every game, it becomes clearer that stopping him isn't just hard, it's a real puzzle for any defense. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Have you ever seen someone who looks impossible to stop? Because if you think you have, just wait until you watch Victor Wembanyama in action for the San Antonio Spurs, a player who doesn't just dominate the court, but redefines what versatility really means in the NBA. He can defend like a center.
1:34 to go in the quarter. Anunoby facing Victor. No.
In the world shows exactly why he's such a nightmare matchup. What makes him even more dangerous is that he doesn't play like someone restricted to one role. He reads the game, adapts on the fly, and chooses how he wants to impact each possession, which forces opponents to constantly rethink their defensive approach, because there's simply no perfect way to guard him. One possession, he's spacing the floor and stretching the defense out to the perimeter. The next, he's cutting inside or setting up a teammate with a pass most players wouldn't even see. And take a look at this. Those sequences where he alters a shot on defense and then instantly turns that stop into offense show how quickly he can flip momentum by himself. And the scariest part is that he's still learning, still adjusting to the league's pace, still studying opponents, yet he already plays with the composure and awareness of a seasoned veteran, which is why teams are starting to realize that facing him isn't just about talent, it's about solving a constantly changing puzzle in real time. Every game adds another layer to his skill set, another move, another read, another moment that makes defenders hesitate. And when a player can control both ends of the floor like that this early in his career, it's not just impressive, it's a warning sign to the rest of the league that guarding him is only going to get harder from here.
Just toying with the little kids.
Oh, poor Derek White, we love you, but he's going to end up on every highlight.
Every team that faces the San Antonio Spurs quickly realizes that he can change the rhythm of a game almost by himself, forcing opponents to hesitate.
9 Spurs turnovers in the first half. Williams. Vucevic. Hey,
slow down their attacks.
Simon's weaving his way to the hoop. And there is Victor Wembanyama!
And settle for shots they normally wouldn't take. Possessions that usually flow smoothly suddenly feel rushed, spacing looks tighter, and driving lanes seem to disappear, all because his presence alters how offenses think in real time. It's not just about blocks or highlights, it's about psychological pressure, the kind that makes players second-guess decisions they'd usually make without thinking, and that alone can shift momentum over the course of a game. Teams like the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks have already experienced firsthand what it's like to go up against someone who redefines spacing on the court, someone whose reach alone can erase passing angles, and whose timing can shut down plays before they even develop. Take a look at this. That sequence where he blocks a shot and instantly fires off an incredible pass that flips possession shows exactly how one defensive moment can turn into instant offense. And what makes this even more remarkable is how consistently he creates those swings, not as a one-time highlight, but as a pattern that repeats throughout games, slowly tilting control toward his team. Coaches can scheme for scoring runs in defensive matchups, but it's much harder to plan for a player who disrupts structure itself, who can turn a routine play into chaos for the opponent in a split second. That's why facing him isn't just a matchup challenge, it's a strategic dilemma, because every adjustment teams make to deal with him tends to open another problem somewhere else on the floor. Victor Wembanyama isn't limited to just one role on the court, and that's exactly what makes him such a nightmare for defenses trying to figure him out. One possession, he's acting as a facilitator, spacing the floor, drawing defenders out, and delivering passes that open up the offense. The next, he's the finisher, creating his own shot off the dribble, or attacking the rim with long, controlled strides that defenders struggle to contain. That constant shift in responsibilities forces opponents to adjust on the fly, and in a league where timing and positioning are everything, even a split second of hesitation can be the difference between a stop and a score. What truly separates him is the unpredictability, because defenders can't lock into a single strategy when guarding someone who can realistically hurt you from anywhere on the floor. If they sag off, he shoots. If they press up, he drives. If they double, he passes. That kind of decision tree puts enormous pressure on defenses, especially when it's happening in real time at NBA speed. And take a look at this.
With that magnificent touch and get it off the glass. Lively denied emphatically by Wembanyama. It's like playing against your dad in the driveway when you're 8 years old. What do you do? Wemby three, you bet! Plus the foul!
That sequence where he catches the ball at the top, sells the fake, steps back, and drains a deep jumper while the defense is still reacting is pure brilliance. The kind of play that makes coaches shake their heads because the coverage wasn't even bad. Another layer to his impact is how natural all of this looks when he does it, because there's no visible strain or rush in his movements, just smooth execution and awareness of space that feels almost instinctive. Most players who experiment with multiple roles look like they're adjusting as they go, but with him it feels seamless, like he's simply choosing which skill set to use depending on what the defense gives him. That fluidity keeps defenders mentally off balance, since they're never fully sure whether they should guard him like a perimeter scorer, a post threat, or a playmaker. And that's why preparing for him isn't just about scouting tendencies, it's about preparing for possibilities. Coaches can design schemes to stop specialists, but it's much harder to slow down someone who can change identities from play to play without warning. The more comfortable he becomes reading defenses and recognizing matchups, the more dangerous that versatility becomes, because every new layer he adds forces opponents to account for yet another dimension of his game, turning every possession into a guessing game they're constantly at risk of losing. Even though Victor Wembanyama is still learning the league, he already shows the tactical maturity of a seasoned veteran, and that's the kind of trait you simply can't teach. He understands when to attack, when to slow the pace, when to take over a possession, and when to trust his teammates, which is a level of decision-making most players only develop after years of experience. Instead of forcing plays or chasing stats, he reads the flow of the game like someone who's been studying it for a decade, calmly waiting for the exact moment when his impact will matter most.
That composure is exactly what makes the San Antonio Spurs far more dangerous than their record or age might suggest, because having a player who can control tempo and make the right read under pressure changes everything about how a team functions. Young squads usually struggle with consistency and late-game decisions, but when he's on the floor, possessions feel more organized, spacing looks cleaner, and teammates seem more confident, almost like they know the play will end in a good shot as long as the ball passes through his hands. What stands out most is how naturally he processes situations that normally overwhelm young players, especially when defenses try to speed him up or trap him into mistakes. He doesn't panic, doesn't rush, and rarely looks surprised by what the defense throws at him because he's already anticipating the next rotation or help defender before the action fully unfolds. Take a look at this.
The screen hangs, and Wembanyama sends it away. Keldon Johnson hangs and scores.
That interception, followed by a fast break and an impossible pass, shows exactly the level he's operating on, the kind of sequence that reveals not just skill, but awareness, vision, and timing working together at once.
And that's why his growth curve is what really captures attention around the league, because if he's already making veteran-level reads while still adapting to NBA speed, physicality, and scouting adjustments, it means this version of him is only the starting point. Every game adds experience, every matchup adds knowledge, and every adjustment he makes sharpens his control over the court, which is a scary thought for opponents, since a player who can already dictate possessions this early usually becomes the kind of presence defenses have to plan entire game plans around. The potential of Victor Wembanyama goes far beyond any stat sheet, because what he's showing already can't be fully captured by numbers alone. With his rare combination of size, guard-level skill, defensive instincts, and elite court vision, it's not an exaggeration to say he could become the best player in the NBA within just a few years. He doesn't just influence games, he bends them to his will, controlling tempo, forcing defenses to collapse, and turning possessions into mismatches before opponents even realize what's happening. His presence alone changes strategies, and that kind of gravitational impact is something only the rarest superstars ever possess. What makes him especially terrifying for opponents is how impossible he is to scheme against. Most players have a clear weakness you can target: too slow, too small, too one-dimensional, but Wembanyama erases those options. Try to guard him with a center, and he stretches the floor like a wing. Put a smaller defender on him, and he shoots over them effortlessly or finishes above the rim. Take a look at this.
Ball camps, and they're just toying with the little kids.
Oh, poor Derek White. We love you, but he's going to end up on every highlight.
That level of adaptability forces defenses into a constant state of reaction instead of control, which is why teams already look uncomfortable trying to contain him. Defensively, he's just as disruptive, maybe even more. His wingspan and timing turn the paint into restricted airspace, where drivers hesitate and shooters rush attempts they'd normally take with confidence. He doesn't just block shots, he changes them, alters angles, and makes players rethink attacking altogether. The psychological effect is real. When a player knows Wembanyama is lurking, they second-guess moves they've practiced their entire lives. That mental pressure is what separates elite defenders from generational ones, and he's showing signs of becoming the latter. Take a look at this.
And Bryant, they'll reset with Drew Smith. Oh, not the way.
Every jumper he releases, every block he swats, every pass he threads through traffic feels like evidence that we're witnessing something truly rare. Not just a future star, but a player capable of redefining what dominance looks like in modern basketball. If his development continues at this pace, the conversation won't be about whether he's unstoppable, it'll be about how long the league can possibly keep up with him. So if you want to keep up with every highlight, every block, and every unbelievable play from Victor Wembanyama, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single upload. What we're witnessing right now isn't just another talented player having a good stretch, it's the early chapters of a career that feels destined to reshape how basketball is played and understood. Every game adds a new clip to the highlight reel, another sequence that fans replay over and over because it simply doesn't look real in live speed. Following his journey now means watching history unfold in real time. Most legends take years before the world realizes what they're becoming, but with Wembanyama, that realization is happening almost instantly. Analysts, players, and fans are all starting to see the same thing. He's not just adapting to the league is already trying to adapt to him. Defensive schemes are shifting, scouting reports are getting longer, and opposing teams are throwing everything they have at him, yet he keeps finding new ways to dominate possessions on both ends of the floor. That's why staying tuned matters more than ever. Every matchup brings a new test, every opponent tries a different strategy, and every night feels like it could produce a moment people will still be talking about years from now. Whether it's a gravity-defying block, a smooth perimeter jumper, or a pass that only he could see, his games are quickly turning into must-watch events. Missing one could mean missing the next viral play that takes over the basketball world within minutes. His NBA story has barely begun, and yet it already carries the feeling of something historic in the making. The trajectory he's on suggests that what we've seen so far might just be the preview, not the peak. So stay locked in, stay subscribed, and stay ready, because if his growth continues at this pace, the next few years won't just showcase a superstar rising, they could showcase a revolution unfolding right before our eyes.